Hello everyone, I'm Sejal and this is the first of three stories we'll cover today. In story 1, we look at the markets, how Nifty 50 scaled a fresh all-time high and what fueled the rally. In story 2, we'll explore how the awarding of Commonwealth Games 2030 can be to Ahmedabad, and this could also boost real estate demand and why one local developer is drawing a major investor attention. In story 3, we'll examine a major policy shift, how Narendra Modi ji government plans to open India's nuclear energy sector to private investments and what it could mean. So let's dive in and know about each news in detail. सबसे पहले बात करेंगे कि कल निफ्टी ने टच किया ऑल टाइम हाई एट 26,295.5 रिक्लेमिंग रिकॉर्ड टेरिटरी आफ्टर 14 मंथ्स और साथ ही में बैंक निफ्टी ने भी एक रिकॉर्ड हाई टच किया ऑफ 59,802.65 एंड बीएसई सेंसेक्स ओपन हुआ हायर अप बाय अप्रोक्सीमेटली 247 पॉइंट्स ऑन अपबीट ग्लोबल क्यूज. अब ये जो रैली थी ये काफी ज्यादा ब्रॉड बेस्ड थी. Most of the sectors, auto, financial, FMCG, metal, pharma, realty, media, oil and gas, they opened with gains. Only IT lagged and consumer durables saw some profit booking. Now, what was the main reason driving the surge? So, first reason was the strong global sentiment. US markets higher closed हुए थे, S&P 500, Dow and Nasdaq due to softer US Treasury yields, rising hopes कि government central bank including the US Fed they might begin cutting the rate sooner than expected and improving the risk appetite among the global investors. और यही global setup की वजह से इंडिया को एक perfect backdrop मिला for the breakout. डोमेस्टिक टेलविंड्स की बात करें तो उन्होंने भी इसको सपोर्ट किया है. स्टिल domestic tailwinds में भी like improving corporate earnings visibility for FY26, valuations cool off हुई हैं after the months of consolidation. There is a buzz around possible RBI rate cuts later this year और इसी की वजह से we have seen this breakout. Also, there was a strong domestic mutual fund and SIP flows acting as a cushion against the foreign selling. Still, जो broader picture है 2025 की, it shows underperformance. There was subdued earnings and geopolitical risk, evaluated valuations, foreign outflows, जिसकी वजह से Indian markets were on a drag. But with improving earnings, cool valuations, and renewed rate cut hopes, sentiment वापस से turn हो रहा है. So basically, a breakout like this sets the tone for short-term optimism, but sustaining it will depend on continued earning traction, stable global conditions, and domestic flows. अब बात करते हैं हमारी आज की सेकंड स्टोरी के बारे में है, which is कि अहमदाबाद विनिंग होस्टिंग राइट्स फॉर कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स 2030 और इसकी वजह से रियल एस्टेट इन द सिटी लुक्स पॉइज्ड फॉर द मेजर अपस्विंग. एक कंपनी जो क्लियरली बेनिफिट होते हुए दिख रही है और जो रडार पे है इन्वेस्टर्स के, दैट इज गणेश हाउसिंग लिमिटेड. इसका स्टॉक जंप के अराउंड 6% आफ्टर द अनाउंसमेंट एंड गणेश हाउसिंग इज सीन एज अ की बेनिफिशियरी बिकॉज 500 एकर्स का लैंड बैंक है कंपनी के पास with 36 to 40 million square feet of developable area around the fast growing corridors. Ahmedabad infra is accelerating. Metro phase 2, gift city proximity and airport expansion are strengthening the connectivity. Also, company is expecting property values to appreciate by 10 to 15% annually, aided by infra upgrades and push around 2030 gains. But the opportunity extends far beyond the real estate. ये जो गेम की hosting it will require world class stadiums, metro links, new roads, hospitality expansion, airport link development, which would create multi sector uplift. So who else will benefit from this? So here are some biggest sectors and companies which are in focus. So first we have real estate developers. So real estate developers में भी कुछ main names हैं which are in the list that they will get benefited from this step. So इसमें सबसे पहले included है कुछ ऐसे डेवलपर्स जिनकी लार्ज लैंड होल्डिंग्स है और अपकमिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स नियर द गेम वेन्यूज एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉरिडोर्स जिनमें एक शार्प राइज ऑफ डिमांड हम देख सकते हैं. अरविंद स्मार्ट प्लेसेस, Godrej Properties and Adani Realty, which is unlisted, and these companies are set to benefit from this increased residential demand, commercial leasing, and mixed use development around Gandhinagar, Ahmedabad. एयरपोर्ट लिंक डेवलपमेंट भी हम देख सकते हैं. बेटर इंटरनेशनल कनेक्टिविटी एंड टर्मिनल अपग्रेड्स कैन ड्राइव होटल्स, रिटेल, ऑफिस स्पेसेस डिमांड नियर द एयरपोर्ट. एंड इसमें जो की प्लेयर बेनिफिट हो सकता है दैट इज अडानी एयरपोर्ट व्हिच इज अनलिस्टेड. Then we have construction and infra, जहाँ पर new stadiums, road upgrades, metro expansion, game facilities, they are likely to translate to major contracts for engineering and EPC companies. इसमें कुछ beneficiaries हो सकते हैं L&T, HCC, GMR Group, regional construction contractors, and these firms historically win large government-backed event projects and could see strong order inflows ahead. हॉस्पिटैलिटी में देखें तो विद लैक ऑफ विजिटर्स एक्सपेक्टेड होटल डिमांड श्योरली सर्ज होगी, बूस्टिंग द ऑक्यूपेंसी एंड रेवेन्यू पर अवेलेबल रूम अक्रॉस इन द रीजन. नेम्स जो फोकस में है दैट इज इंडियन होटल्स, आईटीसी होटल्स एंड लेमेंट्री होटल्स. एंड दिस अपलिफ्ट मे सस्टेन इवन बियॉन्ड द इवेंट एज बिजनेस ट्रैवल एंड टूरिज्म एक्टिविटी राइजेस. अब ये क्यों मैटर करता है? तो 2030 कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स ट्रिगर कर सकते हैं मल्टी ईयर केपेक्स साइकिल अक्रॉस रियल एस्टेट, कंस्ट्रक्शन, एयरपोर्ट, हॉस्पिटैलिटी. Now for investors, this is not just a short-term theme. ये एक large event है जो कि globally it have historically pushed land prices up, improved connectivity and unlocked the long-term capital inflows. For Ahmedabad, this could be the beginning of its transformation into one of India's fastest growing urban hubs for sure. And now let's move to our third and last news for today, which is about a major policy shift. PM Narendra Modi announced that the government is preparing to allow private companies into India's nuclear energy sector, which is breaking the monopoly held by NPCIL. Now, this could be India's biggest energy reforms in decades. अब exactly private companies को क्या allowed होगा इसमें करना? So they could develop small modular reactors, SMRs, जो कि next gen compact nuclear plants होते हैं, which are developed by global leaders like Rolls-Royce, GE, Hitachi, and they would be able to build large reactors jointly with NPCIL. अब इसके through they can mirror the space sector model where ISRO plus private companies collaborate. Then investment in Greenfield nuclear plants. So under strict regulatory supervision and safety norms, this could also be done. But why is this reform happening now? तो बेसिकली इंडिया को स्केल करना है अपना न्यूक्लियर कैपेसिटी फ्रॉम 8000 मेगावाट टू 22480 मेगावाट बाय 2032. बट न्यूक्लियर प्रोजेक्ट्स को चाहिए होता है बहुत ज्यादा कैपिटल, स्पेशलाइज्ड टेक्नोलॉजी एंड लॉन्ग एग्जीक्यूशन साइकिल्स. एंड एनपीसीआईएल इस टारगेट को अकेले मीट नहीं कर सकता. और प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स को अगर हम लेकर आते हैं तो उसकी वजह से फास्टर कंस्ट्रक्शन होगा. देयर वुड बी ग्लोबल टेक एक्सेस, डाइवर्सिफाइड फंडिंग एंड इनोवेशन इन रिएक्टर डिजाइन. And government ने reportedly they are consulting domestic and global conglomerates, and if legislation passes possibly in the 2026 budget session, then private reactors could be operational by 2030 to 31. But there are some challenges because nuclear projects में बहुत ज़्यादा safety concerns होते हैं. Also they require long lead times and they must overcome very complex regulatory compliances. But still, if it get implemented well, this may be India's biggest energy sector reform since the Electricity Act 2003. And that is the wrap for today's edition of Daily Market Rundown. We covered the news of Indian markets which are riding the wave of optimism. Nifty, Bank Nifty ने fresh highs बनाए. अहमदाबाद win to host Commonwealth Games जिसकी वजह से काफी sectors benefit हो सकते हैं. And lastly, we covered the news of the proposal of opening India's nuclear energy sector to private players, which could reshape country's energy trajectory. And that was all for today's market story. Which of these developments do you think will have the long-lasting impact, the market rally, real estate surge, or the nuclear reform? Let me know in the comments below, and for more such deep dive videos on market-related news, do not forget to subscribe our channel.